Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Nullified Tech channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on Survivor UK. And I'm joined by my two most outstanding co-hosts, probably some of the best co-hosts I've ever had. And we'll start off with the lovely, the most amazing, the most astonishing V. V, how are you?
What? Me? Little old me?
Yes.
I'm great. I'm currently on holiday on Kangaroo Island, SA, one of the best places, according to Lonely Planet, to visit. Middle of nowhere, nothing but kangaroos. I'm having a ball.
Nice, nice. And, we are joined by a fellow kangaroo himself, Mr. Tom. I would give you nice complimentary words, but you're not as big a fan of Shin Batty as I am. So I don't think I have many positive words to give you at this time, Tom.
Mucky, if Shin, whatever her name is, keeps getting mentioned throughout the duration of this show, you will not see me here next week. That is a genuine threat.
A genuine threat. Well, I know you live somewhere in Australia, and it's quite a small country, so I'm sure I'll be able to hunt you down with my Shin Batty hat and Shin Batty action figure, which should be arriving soon, and force you to be one with the podcast.
He's coming after you with dolls, bro.
They actually wasted plastic on creating a Shin, whatever her face is, action figure. Wow.
It's not a
waste. That was a
mistake. Anyways, we've gone completely off track. Survivor UK Week 2, episodes 3 to 4 has just come out. V, what is your thoughts on Week 2?
I'd love a bit of a challenge that doesn't rely on balance or brawn, but, the night is still young. But it was a fabulous week again. Very balanced in every way of the word. Very balanced.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. There was a lot of balance talk, especially throughout the couple of episodes. Tom, I feel like so far it's been 2 weeks, right? So it's only been 4 episodes, but I feel like we're still really in the basic strategy of Survivor. I know.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's got raptured.
He's gone. All right, never mind. If Tom wants to be like that, he will be like that. No, but V, we're still. I feel like with this season of Survivor, it's very refreshing to see compared to some of the Australian and the American ones, where it's very hardcore, intense strategy, where the strategy has been pretty basic, where if you're terrible at the challenge.
And I don't know if that's by design or if a lot of these players genuinely have not ever watched Survivor before. I believe that from the little bit that I've read, people in the UK find it a breath of fresh air compared to some of the other reality shows they've got going on. So I think it's ruffling a few feathers for some hardcore fans, but I think it is very refreshing. But I would be very curious to find out how many of those players have actually studied the game before.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because, as a New Zealander, we had our own version of Survivor. It lasted for 2 seasons, but then it hit the can. But one of the biggest reasons why is because there wasn't enough strategy to make interesting drama, if that makes sense. And a lot of the cast members also weren't that entertaining to watch. But I'm not sure about you, V, but I'm loving this cast so far. What's your thoughts on the cast?
I agree. And I don't know if it's just because of the British accents, the UK accent, sorry, because there's, Welsh and Scottish in there and Irish in there as well. I do think as an Australian, that just brings a little bit of a novelty as well. But I completely forgot my train of thought, what I was going to say. Look, I think it has been, really refreshing to sort of go back to the basics. And I feel like some of the strategy talk, especially in the US franchise, it's kind of the same after a while, isn't it? Like, I can't trust him. I can trust him. We've seen 40 odd seasons of, can I trust him? I don't know. I might be going home tonight. can I trust him? I'm going to try and trust him, but I hope I'm not blindsided. It's nice to not hear the word blindside every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially the Australian Survivor is notorious for the word blindside being used every 5 seconds like it's a badge of honor.
Well, here's another blind side. Tom has entered the stage once again.
He's back from the rapture.
He's back. He came through Redemption Rock. You know, he got voted out of the podcast and got sent to another podcast, but it's now come back. Tom.
Yeah, the other podcast was much
leave us?
nicer. Why did I leave you? There was so many reasons, honestly. Yeah, no, I guess you can blame Optus. I just realized I forgot to have. I was going to bring M&Ms to eat throughout the live because trying to get a product placement, trying to get sponsored, trying to get something more out of this for me. But they're over there, and I can't get up again. But
Does it work?
We've got some Coke. We've got an empty bottle of Nippy's iced chocolate.
Of course.
Nippies.
Yeah. Nippies. Do you guys have
Excuse
Nippies?
us, Nippies. Yes. I just
Have
like
you
to
got
say
Nippies
Nippies.
in Australia?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Really?
No.
Oh,
What?
that is
Nippies?
so good to know.
We've got it in South Australia.
Nippies is my 5th favorite chocolate milk overall. And I've been so scared that when I move to Australia, none of the chocolate milk I like is going to be there.
It's definitely an SA, and you could
Okay.
probably get it sent via Amazon or Menulog across the state border, I'm sure.
I just
Sure, you'll
ordered
be
like
fine.
a massive truckload.
Yes.
I'm sure Melbourne will have it. They're pretty weird over there, so they probably will source your weird interests, Mucky.
Look, all I've got to say is that if I arrive in Melbourne and there's someone dressed in a Shin Baddie cosplay, I'm going to marry them on the spot.
Oh yeah, they're walking down the street every Tuesday. You can find them.
I'd get consent, but yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, V. You're not asking them
Yeah.
permission.
Then do whatever you want.
But Tom, a question I asked V, which I'll ask the same to you. I feel like the strategy has been very refreshing to see compared to the Australian and American Survivor, where V brought up. Tom's already laughing. Where especially in Australian Survivor, the word blindside gets mentioned like every episode. In American Survivor, it's all about trust and people flip flop all the time. What has been your thoughts on the strategy so far? Like, it's quite simple, quite basic. What's your overall thoughts?
Okay, so the problem with Australian Survivor is they find 5 different words a season and then they just say them on repeat, kind of like a radio station playing the same 5 songs. US Survivor, none of the people who play it nowadays have ever dated a girl. And I'm going to say the problem with UK Survivor is that they've dragged all these people from the Stone Age. I don't know how they got them, but they found a bunch of cavemen and women, and one cave non-binary person as well. And they have actually no. Ren's pretty smart actually. I've got to give Ren some credit. They've got some strategic acumen, but everyone else is pretty much a caveman. That's the problem with UK. So I wouldn't call it strategy. I would say it as, this person's annoying, but this person isn't really good in challenges. Oh, this is a tough one. I've got to think about this for 45 minutes. Yeah, like that. That's the extent of the strategy so far for me. And I said it last week in optimism that I'm very excited for the merge, in the sense that it'll be interesting to see where all these people will go. But now I say I'm excited for the merge solely so I can stop seeing the really stupid Lenina or like Calaton little banners in the bottom corners. It looks like, when you're watching like on Channel 10 or something, like you're watching live TV and they have like in the bottom like Love Island every Thursday 9 p.m. just like pop up, and it's just like, I mean, it's not like a big deal, but it's just like, this looks like such a stupid thing. So I wonder if when it's merged and like they have their merged name of I don't know, Le Calaton or whatever, some stupid name. If it's just going to be in the corner 24/7, just so you don't forget which tribe you're on. You know, it's honestly, my brain, it hurts watching this a little bit, but I am still enjoying it, you know, because I like to hurt my brain. So it's a mutually beneficial experience. The floor is back to you, Mucky.
I do think that if they just constantly had the merged tribe name at the bottom of the corner, that would be really funny. It's just one tribe. It's just always there to remind you it's the same tribe.
And then on the other side, you are watching UK Survivor. You're watching UK Survivor. Don't forget the name of the show.
Yeah. Well, because at the start of every episode, the host does say, "This is UK Survivor." And then he does his recap, and then he says again, "Welcome back to Survivor UK."
We're not on I'm a Celeb, get me out of here. This is Survivor. This isn't Strictly
Survivor.
Come Dancing. This is Survivor.
I do have a question for you, V. So, in the show $1 Million Island, something that always happens is that the host narrated a lot of what was going on between each of the different camps, maybe some of the drama that was happening. And, you know, Survivor doesn't really do this anymore, but do you like that the host sort of like does like a short narration as it cuts between both camps and challenges?
What's he going to say? You know, like, oh, Ren is pondering their decision over sharing the idol with Doug. You know, like, I like, none of the franchises have really done that. And so I think it would just be weird and Love Island-y and sort of, so I think it's a really good balance. You don't get too much of the host in Survivor. So I think it's a good balance. I think it would be weird.
Yeah, I will admit, I do think this host is really growing on me, though. He's had a lot of really funny moments throughout these first 2 weeks, and he had a couple one-liners as well during one of the immunity challenges. It was the one with the sandbag, and you'd run around, and both tribes were chasing each other. And he said, "Doug is carrying 12 kilos. He must be great at carrying the shopping bags back to the car."
I like that. I like his enthusiasm. I like how excited he is. But I think he even said in Sunday night's episode, "I don't know what to say right now." So I feel like that's a recurring theme for him. Look, and the tribals are quite good. You know, well, again, we're going back to the Stone Age a bit, but it's I don't trip over the interviewing at tribals, so he must be doing something right. And if he's just so overexcited at challenges he doesn't know what to say, then so are all of we. So that's fine by me as well.
Yeah, he did have one joke which I also really liked, where they're running around, and it's like, this is like tug of war, except it's tug of war to.
You should just stick to whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa. Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. We can all see what's going on. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I find him really funny, and I almost feel a bit bad for him because I feel like he's trying to make something interesting happen, and I feel like especially at the Linenni's tribal, like the blue tribe, like he was really asking. Lenina.
Lenina.
You're thinking of Shin Batty. It sounds like you said Lin Batty. That's what it sounded like just then.
Lin Batty. I'm going to go with Lin Batty. All right. So when Lin Batty's at tribal, like the host is asking Rach and Ash like the right questions to really throw, like Lee's name out there to really throw some heat onto him, but they don't really give him anything. But you can tell he really wants to spark something. He really wants to create some interesting drama, but no one's really giving.
And he's got huge shoes to fill. Everyone looking at him is going to think of Jonathan. They're going to think of Probst. It's a huge job. And look, he's doing all right. He just needs to shut up a bit during challenges. If you don't have something to say, don't say anything at all. That's why I never live by it, but
I mean, I feel like I feel like the things he's saying more or less are like written or something. It's like, oh, make sure you say this really bad joke. I kind of would prefer it if like, you know, we're in the UK. If instead of having like a really like witty, like, well, let's be real, witty. I wouldn't call them genuinely witty. No offense, but like instead of having like a really upbeat, like jokey host, I just love it to be just a miserable, like super like dry humor man, like not even dry humor, just an awful man. Like I don't know if you've seen the Inbetweeners, the show The
Yeah.
Inbetweeners, that they have like a that their headmaster, just like someone like that who just like wants to tear these people apart just because he's just a miserable person. That'd be great. I would love to see that, you know. But
That'd be fabulous. And he's
no,
just grumpy about standing in the sun. He's just got a big hat on and like
yeah,
a big
and
like
he's just like
caftan on going.
What if Shy?
yeah, and like while the challenge Shy.
Yeah,
Oh,
what if
he's got no
Shy was the
personality though,
host?
so yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is no, he's got no personality, so that'd be boring, you know. No,
I
but
feel
like
he's got a great
like
personality.
he's like, oh, come on. Oh yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Well, I mean, you have to get to know him first. I mean, from like his one confessional or whatever, like, yeah, you have to get to know me, and then I open up, you know, the more. I don't know. I just can't
But
believe that
wasn't
they're
Shy
considering like
barking
voting me out.
orders in the first episode? Isn't that what
Yeah.
people had a problem with? And now he's like, oh, I don't say very much. I'm very quiet. No one gets to know me.
It's like he realized what his mistake was, that he was bossing too many people around. So it's like, okay, I need to quieten this down. But he took that quieting down to like level 100, where he hardly says anything. Okay. No, poor Shy, in my opinion. Poor Shy. I thought they had a strong chance of going.
Really?
Is Tom with us?
Is this?
Oh, okay. There he is.
Yeah, I'm kind of fading here.
Yeah.
Both internet wise and spiritually. They might. Yeah. Look, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah. No. It's probably not going to keep on working, Tom. Unfortunately.
Feel
Optus.
like I'm 30 seconds behind with you guys or something.
Yeah. Now, for those that don't know, Optus is an internet company throughout Australia.
Should I give my final thoughts right now?
Yeah. If yes.
An attempt to, yeah.
Attempt to give your overall thoughts, and then we'll have to love and leave you, Tom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, I thought, oh, we got another Australian Survivor like non-elimination episode kind of thing. The second they said it was a non-elimination, like, oh, they're obviously going to vote out Leilani, because like, why would they want to give the other tribe Shy, you know, like a physical asset? Also, I thought it was so funny when Leilani was like after the challenge, when she was like good at balancing, she was like going, yeah, of course I was good at it, like I smashed it. And I'm like, you don't understand what's going on here. Everyone's thinking, wow, you're kind of good at one thing, thumbs up. And then you're going, oh yeah, I was amazing. Like, oh yeah, like you guys should really keep me around. I'm an absolute weapon. I can definitely help you in all these other challenges, which I have failed at in the past 3 episodes. Anyway, potato energy right there. Ren seemed to be playing, or actually, when Ren shared the clue with Christopher, I believe. Doug. Yeah, sorry, they're the same person in my eyes. I mean, also, just side note, can you tell the difference between Rachel and Ashley? Because gun to my head, I couldn't. I'm glad one of them's gone. I don't know which one's gone. Wait, Rachel's gone. Yeah, from the top of my head, not from the screen right here. Anyway, back to the thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just spitballing it all at once. When Ren gave the clue to Doug, when Doug said, "Oh, Ren is like so trustworthy," like they literally mentioned the that they must give the share the clue with someone. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's trustworthy. Like, they actually have to share it with someone. You're just the person they picked. So, like, I wouldn't say that's like
Yeah.
trustworthy. More so, like, anyway. Lots of potatoes in this show. I'm keen to see which potatoes become French fries and which potatoes stay mashed. Like, will become mashed. I guess they're all just normal potatoes right now. But we got 3 mashed potatoes so far, and let's be real, half the cast are already like semi-mashed. So it's not looking good. My winner pick is Lawrence. It kind of looks a bit
Yes.
like me, but like me mixed with Mika. So I want him to win, purely to help me provide content for my audition video for Australian Survivor next year. So let's go, Lawrence. Anyway, I'm going to evacuate because Optus.
Optus.
Bloody
Oh.
Optus. No, but thanks so much for coming on, Tom. Yeah. Have a good one, bro. Boom. I kicked him off before the start. I get it happen. But yeah, let's get more into the ins and outs of the episode. So we did have one episode all about the Blue Tribe, and the other episode completely about the Orange Tribe. So I guess we'll start with the Blue
balance.
Tribe. Yes, the balance, the yin and the yang. So the Blue Tribe, I feel like, has the most interesting dynamics because I feel like we've got several blocks of people. So you sort of got, I guess the alpha male alliance. We've got Lee, you got Pegleg, and Hannah as a 3. And then you sort of have Christopher and Doug sort of floating around the middle. They could really go either way. But then you had Ash, Rachel, and Ren on the other side. And in this episode, Doug and Christopher sided with Lee. Did you like this move on them to flip on Ash and Rach?
What's interesting, I keep waiting for Lee's confessionals to be a little bit more diabolical because it really does look like he's trying to build an empire. Whether he's doing that by accident or on purpose, I haven't quite. It could be that he's just wanting to gain popularity and he's just someone that people are attracted to following. But it does seem a little bit like people are hanging off of his every word at this point. And he got away with a few things that surprised me in the episode 3. So I keep waiting for him to sit down in the confessional and go, right, I've got these people. I wanted to get out these people. But he was like, it's time for the blondes to go, which I thought that was pretty vague. Again, it really, I mean, we can go step by step, but it just sort of seemed like they were looking around going, well, who do we get rid of? I don't know.
Yeah.
No one seemed to go, for my game, I need this person gone and this person gone.
Yeah, I think it's like as you mentioned earlier about the strategy, I feel like since most of the cast most likely hasn't seen Survivor, no one is really saying a name. It's like, oh, I quite like these people, so I'll just do whatever they want to do. But then they're saying the same thing, and everyone's just kind of not sure where to go. Like the Ash and Rach vote, for example, where it was completely split between the two of them. But I don't think it was an intentional split vote. I think they just legitimately just voted for the person they wanted to go.
They just didn't know. And I think if this was, Australian or US Survivor, Lee would immediately have a target on his back because someone would go, everyone's following this guy. He's got his whole men's alliance going on. And, but I haven't figured out if it's completely by accident yet. Because I think Lee's, if this is planned, I think Lee's a fabulous player and could go really far. Because it's very interesting dynamics. But yeah, there is a lot of, in both the votes, of going, well, I guess we want to win challenges. So I guess who's kind of the weakest, but no one's going, who do I need to get me to where I need to go?
Yeah. I feel like we've got really like 2 alpha players in that tribe, and that's Ash and that is Lee. And it was kind of like which side is really going to take this out. But I feel like since there isn't really that much like complicated strategy going on, I feel like Ash would win most scenarios because she's not necessarily the long-term threat, whereas Lee is. But I feel like since it's still very early stages, that's why Lee has got so much power over Ash, which I was quite surprised by because he was like left out of the vote, him, Peggy Lee, and Hannah, and then they somehow went from having 3 people to 6 people. Like in just one night. It was crazy.
Just total chaos.
yeah, quite literally. Because even when I think Christopher was saying like, oh, I don't want to vote for Ash, I don't want to vote for Rachel, this is really hard. It's like, well, you've got like, 5 other people you can target.
And it really did seem like that strategy for the challenge, which the name escapes me, but with the weights, and I sort of thought, watching that, going, well, that's a choice. That is a choice, and I was interested to see if it would play out because I could understand the idea that yes, it's probably harder to catch a couple of people than have your stragglers, but they stuffed it up. Too many left too soon, and the guys just got fatigued. I feel like Lee was the mastermind of that, and
he was.
I would have thought he would have gotten more heat for that, but somehow he booted it on. Well, it would have worked if we had stronger people, kind of. So that's either really smart or he's just honestly, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I feel like Lee, like he does make quite a few mistakes, but he's able to easily recover from it. But I feel like he doesn't realize he's made the mistake, and it's just by sheer luck. Like with the challenge, for example, he's like, oh, even though it was his strategy, as you said, oh, if only we had stronger people, or oh, as a team we decided that, and everyone's like, yes, as a team we should have decided.
Yes, whatever you say, Lee. Yes, you're absolutely right, Lee. Oh, we'll do that. Yes, we will. We'll do that, Lee.
Yeah. But I do think he's a great player. Like, I mean, is he like one of the best strategists we've seen in Survivor? No, but I do think for this season, I feel like he is playing extremely, extremely well.
And this season so far is all about strength, unity. We're not seeing brains being used much at all, which I'm a little bit disappointed by, because I think by now we should have had some more of the puzzle sort of challenges. Give people like Ren and Lawrence, they had their special idol moment, and I would like to see a challenge rest on their shoulders a little bit more, but it's all... I was pleasantly surprised by the balance challenge. Again, we're going really old school Survivor challenges as well, right out of the early 2000s playbook. And I think that could be, we could throw in some more cerebral stuff in there, give people a chance to use their intellect rather than just holding, carrying, running.
Yeah. I feel like Survivor UK, in terms of challenges, is kind of doing something very similar to Australian Survivor, but I feel like it's missing one thing from Australian Survivor. Well, 2 things actually, and that is the epic, over-the-top, soundtrack in the challenges, but also like the personal rivalries as well. Like something that Jonathan does really well is he'll be like, it's the surfer against the author. It is, the Simon season 6 against OG Sam season 1. Like he creates these challenge rivalries. Like he nicknamed someone nicknamed Sean the horse the first time he played, and so it's like who's gonna go up against this massive horse, right? And so, but I feel like in terms of physical challenges, they do tend to be more fun to watch just for the casual audience, right? Because there's people tackling each other. It's really a test of like brute strength. How far you're really going to dig deep to win the challenge, and but I feel like it's just missing the epic music, and the challenges would probably be like 10 times better, I reckon.
Well, I think if this was Australian Survivor, we would have gotten a lot more close up of those fellas' faces as they're carrying the stuff, and the dramatic music, like dig deep, you gotta lift, you gotta lift. Like that kind of thing. I mean, I think the editing is doing some heavy lifting that Joel's not doing, but and it's interesting editing, by the way. But yeah, I'm not tripping over it. I'm not finding it unenjoyable in terms of the drama in the challenges. It's nice to sit back and just have that wide view and go, oh shit, they're gonna just rely on these three guys. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if that could possibly work.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean, I'm it's only because I watched the second episode more recently. I can't even remember what happened on Sunday night. I'm just thinking of like
Fair enough. Yeah, I tend to binge watch episodes the day I do the podcast, so therefore it's
I think that's a good idea.
My memory.
But, I shouldn't have watched it Sunday night. Forgotten it now.
But you know, while there isn't much strategy, we do get introduced to two new strategic players, Ren and Doug. And I do want to talk about Doug for a second because he was the swing vote in episode 2 between Lee's alliance and Ash's alliance. And the more I think about it, I think he did always want to side with Lee. But I think because they weren't on the same page with their votes, he really dodged a bullet by going with Ash's alliance. Because, you know, straight away he's right back in with Lee. You know, Lee, he sees a alliance with just the men. And, I mean, it's never really said that Lee sees Doug as like a 2 IC or kind of like second in charge. But I kind of feel that energy between the two of them where if Lee's not running things, Doug is really taking over. What's your thoughts on Doug?
Well, everyone's obsessed with Lee. Everyone's obsessed with Lee. So, you know, like a moth to the flame. Yeah, I can see Doug being a little bit more of a dark horse. I think he fell into a good position with Ren and the Idol. I think that was he's probably lucky that he was included in that. Because that seemed to be somewhat by chance, depending on what Ren wanted to do. But yeah, I think he's a bit of a dark horse. Again, is it on purpose? Or is he just going, I like Ren, I'll do what she said. I like Lee, I'm going to do what he says. I like Ash, I'm going to do what she said, you know. Or is he going, I'm going to sort of play the field a little bit and then decide where I'm going to land?
Yeah, I mean, it must be quite hard because I've been following his Instagram and it does seem like he is a fan of the show. It does seem like, you know, he does watch and like Survivor. So I can't think of anything more frustrating. I mean, I play Roblox Survivor, for example, and I'll be telling people, oh, you know, we should vote for Tom, right? And they'll be like, no. It's like, what do you mean no? And so, yeah, it must be quite, you know, frustrating playing with people who, like, just either don't strategize or don't know how to strategize, right?
Yeah, which is maybe why his relationship with Ren could be so important, because they seem like, I quite like Ren. I think they've got some clear ideas about how they want to play the game, and they're playing it well so far. It looks like it's on purpose, and this could be that we're just not being shown the confessionals that show too much strategy. You know, this could be an editing ploy to maybe simplify things for the UK audience, that they're trying to get in people who haven't watched any of the other Survivors before, which would be pretty smart. You don't want to be rebooting a show that, but you won't really get it unless you've watched 40 seasons of US Survivor, you know. So it could be that they're trying to bring it back to basics, and the confessionals are full of strategy, chat, and really good ideas, but the editors are thinking that might go above the heads of the audience we're targeting this for. Yeah,
but I also think that because there's something that $1 Million Island Australia had done where it was definitely made for the casuals, like the people who are up for elimination were the only ones that had screen time that episode. So it's like you would know 6 of them, but by the end of the episode, there'd only be 1 left who you knew. But what they ended up doing was, towards the end of the season, is that there was more strategy. There was a jaw-dropping moment by our boy Jordan. Jordan, if you're watching this, I love you, brother. Where he completely like made a massive move, like not really a portrayal because there's kind of a war between these two camps. It was definitely quite out there and very upfronting drama. And kind of since that moment onward, there was always a lot of strategy kind of shown throughout the rest of $1 Million Island. So I think potentially maybe once we've reached the merge or something, it's like, okay, we know who everyone is, comfortably. Like we get a lot of players with their intro packages still coming, but unlike Australian Survivor, so they don't get voted out once they have their, their intro package. Yeah. But maybe once we've reached the merge and we officially know everyone, what the dynamics are like, because in American Survivor, especially, everything's all about strategy. We don't see the social bonds, right? Whereas I feel like we can see a lot of the social bonds, a lot of the friendship, the dynamics and everything. So then maybe once we hit merge, it's like full on Squid Game mode,
Potentially. And I think that would be great. I think I would be very excited to see if there's a little bit more thought going on behind some of these decisions that seem to be working and some that don't seem to be working. I'm surprised we haven't had more of those who these people are packages. I think we only got 2 this week. I think they're doing about 1 an episode, which they're going to run out of episodes if they're thinking they're going to do everyone. So I think it'd be great.
Can you imagine if the winner of the show gets an intro package in the finale? It's like, oh, by the way, this is who I am.
There were definitely a few faces this week that I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know who you are. That's right. Like Matthew. And then they showed us, I was like, I swear to God you were not there last week.
I guess now, we should talk about Ren, right? Because a lot of episode 3 especially was quite a lot about Ren and their social dynamics and their strategy. So we see Ren gets chosen to go to the Outpost. The Outpost twist has been in Survivor New Zealand Season 2 Thailand and in the most recent Survivor South African season, Return of the Outcast. Have you seen the recent South African season?
No, I've only been watching the Australian and the US versions. So you'll have to let me know.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like to think that this is South Africa's twist, but as a Kiwi, I got to defend our original twist, all right? So basically, Outpost, so it's been kind of tinkered with in South Africa, but in New Zealand originally, it was 2 people would go do a challenge or, there'd be something there. There's a chance for an advantage or you just get to meet and talk to people from the other tribe, but basically, right? It was kind of like a way for people to communicate cross tribes that wasn't in challenges, if that makes sense. Some alliances were made, like some weren't. There was sometimes drama between the players, especially in Survivor South Africa. There was definitely some drama every now and then with players who had gone to the Outpost. And I feel like it is a great twist because I felt the Outpost offers many different ways to either introduce twists or to, just as like a fun little segment you can have in the show. What was your thought on the Outpost this week?
I would have liked Ren and I think it was Lawrence to have met. I thought that and be able to have a discussion. I thought that would have been great. I love an ethical dilemma. And I love there were so many options that you could, the big fish and the small fish. And I love that that's kind of blown up in Ren's face a little bit. That we haven't seen yet, but we had Chris has cottoned on to that maybe the fish wasn't so big that came back and maybe there's something else going on. So I really loved that, and being able those tribes to have a conversation, I think would have just been the cherry on the cake. And I'm very surprised that they didn't do it like that. I know the US Survivor often has the tribes being able to meet, have a conversation, some pre-merge links. And look, I adored Ren this week, and I thought they're just a really thoughtful player. I really hope it works out for them because I think Chris is on their tail. But I thought that was a really smart choice because it did look like they legitimately had, I chose the fish, guys. The fish. So they might have gotten away with it. I don't know.
Plus, from my my perspective of just watching this on my laptop, it did seem like the fish's size maybe wasn't that huge of a difference, if that makes sense. Like maybe it was slightly bigger with more veggies, perhaps. Well, I kind of felt like
I believe there were
like,
more veggies with the bigger one. It was more of feeding everyone as opposed to everyone getting a bite. But yeah.
No,
so it was enough for them to have the conversation. Or Chris and perhaps I think he was talking to Lawrence. Say everyone ate, everyone got a bite.
Yeah,
there's a discrepancy there.
Yeah, definitely. But we do see Lee actually leading this charge on, was there potentially more to this? Because he does pick out that, like, you know, if you're going to bring home a fish, it's not going to be just like a tiny mouthful. It's going to be like a huge fish. So what's kind of up? Which maybe that editing down Lee, when I think about it, maybe he is actually more strategic than what we think. Yeah.
Because he wasn't just like, oh, wow, they got to go and get us a reward. He was like, there's got to be more to this. So they might be editing him down. You're quite right. And I had forgotten that he was sniffing around Ren as well. So it'll be interesting to see in the following weeks if they forget to sniff around them or if that's actually edited into the show.
Yeah, definitely. But we do see Doug finds the idol right behind Pegleg. I was actually kind of gutted. I would have loved to see Pegleg just grab the idol.
That would have been fabulous.
That would have been so good. I can't imagine Pegleg with an idol.
Oh,
like, it needs to happen.
He'd be unstoppable.
He would.
That man.
He would.
He's got nearly as much popularity as Lee, but he's just keeping it to himself and being a dark horse rather than being a heat seeker. He's going to. I see him making it to the last couple of episodes, and people look around and go, "We got to get rid of this guy. We forgot he's still here, and he's really popular. He's got to go." Because he's also fantastic in the challenges as well. He's just keeping quiet there.
Yeah, it is quite interesting how, like, he's doing pretty good in challenges, and when he does great, everyone really gives him the applause. But, you know, Lee talks about, you know, wanting to keep the tribe strong, and talks about Pegleg being one of the strongest members, which I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy, you know, with him, you know, missing a leg, but like especially over Rach, who's a bodybuilder who doesn't run apparently. But
I don't run, and you know what, Rach, neither do I. So I understood that completely. I don't run either.
I often run, but I run from my work department to the milk fridge, so then I can grab the most freshest cheeky chocky milk from there. There's a lot of sneaky customers and co-workers who like to steal the freshest milk, but nah. Yeah,
she'd do well to start running. I think Pegleg has shown that he's actually quite phenomenal in the water, and I think it would serve them well to keep strong swimmers, because that's really what separates your average fit person and someone else. You can be incredibly fit and not be an economical or effective swimmer. So if you've got someone who's really experienced at that and you're holding your breath, you could be so fit and not be able to hold your breath. You know, once you're in the water, those things sort of slip away. Sure, you can run back and forth, but so that could be where Pegleg's appeal is. And of course, once we get to the merge, people will be less interested in what he can offer them and more interested in how many people are listening to him. You know, the age-old Survivor story. So I think he's pretty safe until the merge, because he has performed well in the water as a water beast. But and I mean, I do wonder if there is a little bit of people are hesitant to put a target on him because of his disability. But I mean, from the looks of it, I don't think the disability is making much of a difference. Yeah,
definitely. Because we did see Damien, an Australian survivor, and the first chance first contenders, he was taken out early, unfortunately, because he was a double amputee. Noel in season 43 I believe, and I think there was one other. I mean, to be fair, she did make the merge and did really well, but she was taken out simply because of her leg. And there was one other person. I don't know.
In Australian Survivor, there was someone more recently, but
No, I think it's American Survivor, like someone in season 21. I think is it Kelly? Not Purple Kelly.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
I have to go back to the wiki and look.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it is
too many.
It is a bit of an unfortunate thing because you can look at it, it's like, oh, if this person was in the end, they've already got, a story on why they should win, right? But I mean,
but everyone's got a story as well. Reality TV loves a story. Everyone loves to come out and say, oh, my parents were mean to me, or I got fired, or I fell over. I don't know. There's all sorts of things that people trot out as a sob story. But at the end of the day, it's not a public vote. It's the Survivor vote. So a lot of those sob stories don't really matter. It's the public that eats that up. So I honestly think they're going to get post-merge and all targets are going to be on Pegleg.
Yeah.
Because he can't offer them anything anymore. And he's going to have to pivot into that strategic making friends being a vote. It'll be interesting to see how he pivots away from just being a swimmer to something more. Well,
I mean, we talk about this like as if, the players have seen Survivor before and if, there are a lot of good strategic players on the season. But, if the editing isn't playing them down, then maybe Pegleg does have a pretty good shot at actually winning.
That's the thing. If things are as they seem on the surface of what we've been giving in the edit, I think Lee and Pegleg will go really far just because everyone else seems to want to get behind them as leaders and they're going to forget that it's every man for himself in the end. But let's hope that we see something more strategic than that in the edit.
Yeah. And something that we do see, though, which I really loved, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, is that the idol is only good for 3 tribals. Or like 3 rounds of that person going to tribal. What's your thoughts on limited idols and advantages?
Well, it certainly makes a lot of sense when you have something like US Survivor where everyone's got an idol and you've got different idols that do different things. And I think that's a really great way to add some variety to the advantages rather than just you wearing an idol necklace. There you go. So that makes me think perhaps there's a lot more advantages and idols that are going to come into it, that this is just the beginning. So I'd like to, I do think the overuse of the advantages, the idol, I don't know, I'm in 2 minds of it because there have been some really epic idol plays, but more often than not, you just have, he's got an idol, she's got an idol, they've got an idol, they use the, it just gets very mundane after a while. So this indicates that there's more to it. There's more that's going to be happening. I love that the other tribe now is sniffing around for idols because they know that that's a possibility that's out there. So I like that we're starting it. And I just hope that the UK can find a nice balance of having those advantages there, because I do think they make things a lot more interesting. Yeah. Maybe some of these players don't know about idols, maybe, and that could be really fun. So yeah, hopefully they can strike a good balance there.
Well, something that was quite funny is that when the host did say if anyone's got a hidden immunity idol, and Lee's face was like I got shocked, like, hey, no,
that's very different to the US where on the first day they're like, right, let's look for some idols, everyone. Come on.
Yeah.
Everyone go off, look for them.
Yeah. So. But I personally love limited advantages because it forces people to play, right? Because and I feel like maybe that's why they do have an expiry date in the UK, because I think they want the players to play hard and to use these different advantages for great TV moments, right? And for example, one that's on the top of my head was the one in the beginning of Australian Survivor All Stars. We had Henry find it, we passed it to Matt, and then Matt worked with David to get up David's nemesis Daisy. That was like a fantastic, move and series of episodes, and also the idol swap at Champions vs Contenders. How that was only for pre-merge, not like post-merge. I love it when they do twists onto advantages, because I feel like it makes the game much more interesting.
Well, we do see a lot of people get to the end. It's like, I have 3 idols that I have not used, and you sort of go, oh well, that was an opportunity lost. I think Ren, if the edit's setting up Ren having the target on them, I think they might need that idol in the next couple of tribals. So, I'm guessing Doug's going to hand it right on over. I'm guessing.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
But
has Doug told them about it yet? Did Doug tell Ren about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doug did show Ren
I'm paying attention.
But I feel like, what's the move with the idol here? Let's say the target is on Ren. Are you going to play the idol to just take out Ash, who's like also on the bottom? Or like, are they going to go for someone more massive, like a Lee, like a Hannah?
If this was US Survivor, the sky's the limit, but I do really see it being just used as protection, and people just saying, they've got an idol, vote them out. Let's split the vote or something, just flush the idol, just really back to basics idol gameplay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's really hard to judge whether they're diabolical or just simple.
But then again, I guess it's hard to potentially know whether or not to play the idol, because people aren't intentionally splitting votes. They're just voting whoever they want to vote. So maybe you don't even need to use it.
Oh, yeah. I can't predict these guys. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. Yeah. I think if this was US Survivor, you'd have a list of what Ren could be thinking, but I don't know if they're thinking that far ahead. I think it's that their tribals really do seem to rely on, how did that immunity challenge go? Yeah. Then let's have a discussion, rather than sitting there thinking about who you need to surround yourself with, and as you go on and go, they're great at challenges, but they're not useful to me. So it just seems to be, they do the challenge, they go, oh well, Rachel was kind of slow. They were kind of crap, so let's vote them out so we can win lots of challenges, guys.
Yeah. Well, what could Rachel have done here? Rachel does do the smart thing in voting for Ash, and Ash also does smart thing in voting for Rach. But what could they have really done to get out of that spot, in your opinion?
I mean, you can always go back to relying on being a gun for hire. That's kind of... I mean, there wasn't a lot, because the mindset was completely on... I perhaps would have tried to push it back onto Lee. This was Lee's idea. He shit the bed. It completely didn't work. And whether or not Lee was really the one that pushed for it, I'd just keep pushing for that. But then you're going up against this head of this alliance, whether he realizes it or not.
Yeah.
I think there are a few things. As a Hail Mary, she could have gone the Lee angle. Yeah. But unfortunately, no one has the mindset of, who do I want around me? They just go, yeah, but you were the weakest. And that really limits your options if that's going to be the entire mindset. Yeah,
exactly. I completely agree. I don't think that there was really much Rach or Ash really could have done to really flip the tribe, especially against Lee, who does seem to have a really good stronghold on the tribe, with everyone literally surrounding him. I did feel sorry for Rach, but at the same time, I'm happy they kept Ash, because I feel like between the two of them, Ash is the more strategic player out of the two of them. We really do see Ash hustling and gathering numbers in episode 2 to flip the vote against Sabrina, and we do see them once again, trying to hustle.
The hand.
Yes,
My
no,
hand's
not the hand. No, if Piglet.
I haven't been able to participate because of my hand.
Yeah.
Come on. So that's a line if ever I heard it.
Yeah, that should be mean. Like, someone should make a contemplation throughout the season how many times Ash goes, "Sorry guys, I could not do the challenge because of my hand."
I just go too hard at challenges and I get injured because I work so hard.
Yeah, like I would be as good as Lee and Nathan, but it's just the hand.
Yeah, and I think it may have worked. I think it may have kept her safe.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. But I was really happy for her as well in the the mud one, the tunnel one, where she was able to pull out a win for that. I was really happy for her. I think she was the only person in the tribe who scored as well. So I was really happy that she, it was not a hands-on challenge. There was more to it than just a hand. So yeah, she aced.
Again, another a brawn chat, which I think we shouldn't forget as well. And people are quick to forget that Shy got a win for them as a score on the scoreboard for the Orange Tribe as well. Everyone seemed to conveniently forget about that. They just were more pissed off that he put himself forward. They were like, he insisted that he got the bloody win.
Yeah, exactly. I actually wrote that down.
Thank you.
Everyone is mad that Shy went before Nathan because he wanted to go up against Lee, but still dominates and takes out the win. But it's like, no, how dare he go before Nathan?
I would be keeping him close rather than having a target on his back. If we're so worried about keeping a strong tribe, but no, everyone's like, he's talking too much, but now he's not talking enough, and we don't know what to think.
Have you seen Family Guy?
Yeah, not recently though.
I feel like Shy is like the Meg of the tribe. It's like something will go wrong and be like, you know what? It's okay, guys, but you Shy. You crossed the line.
Honestly, it was so silly. When they were throwing his name out there, I'm like, he got you guys. He was one of the 5. Like all those 5 that get when it's individual like that, you really got to hand it to them because they've got to do it all on their own. Yeah, I think that gives them immunity from the next tribal, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I mean, in every challenge, Shy has done extremely well, but he talked too much, and then he didn't talk enough. So it's like, what the hell, Shy? Like you're really bringing the tribe down here.
But I guess the proof is that they like Tom said, they kept Shy with them and sent off their weakest, which I don't think she was that weak. I have to disagree with Tom, but maybe she just talked a big game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was really hoping that someone would have pulled a Sam Webb, right? Like, I'm not sure if you recall in Heroes versus Villains when they sent Jerry over to the villains tribe.
Yes.
Sam Webb said out loud, now, we have to make sure that whoever we send over, we are perfectly fine if they were to get voted down. I was hoping that, Shy would say something like that. Like, everyone, we have to make sure that if we vote this person out, they're going to be fine if they don't.
Well, do you think they're going to have Leilani back? Do you think they're going to?
I think there's a permanent swap.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all. I guess like a tribe steal. I guess you can say until there is a official tribe swap.
Because I believe in the Australian one, that person knew they were coming back.
Yes.
If they survived, and they haven't said that, so. Yeah, well, I think it's an easy first boot for next boot for the Blue Tribe. If they need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ash sees Leilani come in and she's like, oh, thank goodness I'm not next. We've got this other person. But I mean, I've got a bad stutter, so we have Leilani on Lenan. So my stutter's really Lenana. So my stutter's really
Blue Tribe.
Yeah, I just keep calling the boy tribe for that. My stunner's really gonna kill me to say those two names over and over.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do see Matthew really get his shining moment, and I feel like he really took over the episode, which something I love about the editing is I feel like in Australian Survivor, even though I love Australian Survivor and its editing, like it sucks for the players that don't get screen time, but you know, to be honest, do I really care? Not really. but
Yeah.
I feel like someone like Nathan would really get so much screen time in these early episodes, being like, oh, is it the Shy or Lanani? But we really get Matthew and Tanook, who, and Lawrence, who really gets a lot of screen time in these couple of episodes. What was your thoughts overall on that tribal council, on their tribal council?
Well, yeah, it was nice to see a few other people getting a bit of an edit. And I think that's also to blame with the challenges being so one note that we get all the same people having their hero moment. I'd like to see some other people getting their hero moment with a puzzle or a choice or something like that. So it was nice to see some other people get a moment. Did anyone say anything particularly groundbreaking? I don't think so. But it's early days and on it goes from there.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Tanook and her social game especially, because we did kind of see in episode 2, Nathan sees her as his number one, and then we see in this episode, Lawrence tells her the full story, which at first I was quite baffled by, because, he was telling the truth in terms of, the baked potato or the, like with the idol clue, or the large fish with all the veggies and stuff. But I feel like if he was to say like the third option, people might have catched on. It's like, okay, he's saying too many things to kind of throw us off track, and that's what I thought was going to happen with Tanook. But she really brought it. It's like, oh no, so that must mean trusting. Since so trusting, Which
why would he lie?
Exactly. Like he goes for morning swims in the nude. Yeah, he did not lie, but it's because he goes for morning nude swims, and that proves
he's centered.
Person. Yeah, he's very centered. I tried to do that in the harbour, but everyone, no one's really on board with it. Sadly, they keep calling police on. It's really sad.
That is fair enough. That is fair enough. I mean, look, I think if you've got an opportunity to have an idol with absolutely no one else knowing about it, that's better. I'm unsure as to why he felt he needed support. Get the idol first and then maybe get some support and use that as leverage. But I think we're playing old school Survivor, and either there's a master plan or grand plan or there isn't. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, he was telling the truth. He did the noble thing.
Yeah, he really did.
He did the best for his tribe, which honestly, I think is really smart this early on, and especially in those tribes where it's all about what you can offer the tribe. No one's thinking individually yet. I think it was a really excellent move to go for the tribe, but keep in mind there's an idol somewhere there. All you've got to do is find it. So you're the good guy, but you might want to also sneak off to go to the toilet, get firewood, get water. Or maybe he's going, but I couldn't possibly find an idol unless I've got a clue.
Yeah,
who knows?
Exactly. Because I know that in Age of Extinction, something that Rick Devens did really well is that he was telling the whole cast that he kept on getting his idols from the edge. So then, no one was really properly looking for them because they thought he just kept on being given idols from the edge, which that's, genius, which I think if you have a cast of people who haven't seen Survivor before, if you tell them, you can't find an idol without a clue, they might be like, yeah. And since you don't have a clue, there's no way you can find an idol. We're all good.
Yeah, and say, look, there was a clue there. I didn't get it. So I guess none of us can get idols. Anyway, let's all hold hands and sing together.
Yeah,
which is, exactly. You don't want to disrupt the kumbaya because those that do are sent packing.
Yeah, it really is the kumbaya tribe. I feel like we've got 4 players which are all connected by Tanook. So we've got Tanook and Nathan, Tanuk and Lawrence and Tanuk and Matthew, who really led the charge against Shy this episode, but because of the non-elimination twist, they did have to pull out. I mean, it would be really funny if they did send Shy over, one of the strongest members, to the other tribe. But yeah, I feel like apart from them, no one else is really strategizing that much. Like, I know Shy simply because everyone keeps targeting him for no reason. Lanani because she's apparently the weakest link. And I know that there's someone else, but I don't know. Oh, Rachel. That's right, Rachel. I just want to quickly say, even though I completely forgot they existed until now, I was really impressed with their challenge performance against Hannah.
Right, yeah.
I low-key thought that, Hannah's got this in the bag. But I was really, really pleasantly surprised at how well Rachel did. So, Rachel, great job.
Well, I mean, I think there's just so much we're not being shown, hopefully. Maybe there is.
Yeah.
Maybe we're being shown everything. But there's a lot of information that we're not getting. And it's just, it'll be interesting to watch whether the kumbaya-ness kind of continues and they start to realize that actually they need to make other people work for them, not for the good of the tribe.
Yeah.
So maybe Shy has been having all these mastermind conversations of, I kind of talk too much, so now I'm going to talk less because this is my whole strategy. And editing's like, nah, that's too hard for people to understand. Cut that bit out.
It would be really funny if someone was to be like, we have to get out Shy because he's the strategic mastermind. It would be so funny if someone just dropped that because we haven't seen.
No one's been speaking like that. No one's going.
Yeah.
How come Lee has such a huge influence? How come Pegleg, everyone's listening to him?
Yeah.
What's Ren been off doing? I don't trust them. Not everyone's just going, they just kind of weak. So.
Yeah. I do think, though, that after these 2 weeks, there are 5 players really to watch out for, especially when merge time comes. I think one of them is Lee. I think he's really shown, whether it's intentional or unintentional, he does have a strong strategic game and grasp on his tribe, which I feel like he could really, boss and rob his way potentially to the end. We got Tanuk. I think Tanuk is playing a fantastic social game. Lawrence, I feel like he's also playing a very fantastic social game. And then Ren and Doug.
Sure. To that, I'm really interested to watch Chris. I think Chris is asking the right kind of questions and so may have that strategic mind in there. I also think Matthew could be one to watch, the young gun that's got just endless energy to strategize. So they're the one. I agree with your lot, and I'd add those two as really interesting players to watch.
Yeah, because I feel like even with someone like Nathan, I feel like he is the stereotypical early merge type B. I don't think he would be the merge folks. I don't think people would be like, we have to get out Nathan for the challenges because they maybe don't know what individual challenges even are. But I do think, that like sort of early merchant people have caught on that Nathan's winning a lot. Then the second he loses, he's out.
Absolutely, you have to be like what's his face and never lose.
Oh yeah.
In many franchises, what's his face could be any of them. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, it'd just be interesting to see if more strategy comes into it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
If not, people will be shocked that all these people that were helping their tribes are suddenly winning solo immunity idols and going, "Oh no, that's really bad now."
Can you imagine if Shy finds the idol?
Oh, yes.
That'd be so funny.
I hope there's a lot more to Shy than we're seeing. I hope there's a lot more
too.
to everyone that we're not than what we're seeing.
Me too. I feel like we're getting very small strategy stuff from probably the most strategic players of the season, whereas everyone else is kind of getting nothing. I really do hope that everyone does have a great shining moment in the season. Even though I love to take the piss out of people, I hope that no one is offended or hurt or anything like that. Yeah, it's only just going off from what the edit is showing us.
We can only go by, you know, there's an age-old thing. You have to have said it for it to be in the edit, but also there's a lot left unsaid that perhaps we're not seeing yet.
Exactly. I would love if Shy became like the George of the season, but not heroes versus villains George, but brains versus brawn George, you know, where he just keeps annoying people, but he keeps out strategizing them and
fingers crossed.
Yeah, and somehow makes his way to the end. That would, you know, if that happens, V, if that happens, you know, I've already made this promise to someone on my Star Wars podcast, which should hopefully be dropping soon after this. But have you seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
No.
All right, so let me explain something to you, V. So basically, everything in the film and media has got a 50-year expiry period, right?
Yes.
Like for copyright and everything. So copyright for Winnie the Pooh expired last year. So these group of guys in the UK all jumped on together to make a Friday the 13th style blood-splashing horror film with Winnie the Pooh and Piglet called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And it's not like characters dressing up as them killing people. It's the genuine Winnie the Pooh and Piglet going around killing people. And it is probably the best movie I have ever seen. And I've said it so many times on our, especially Strange Survivor podcast. I think that Sneaky Steve got voted out as the only thing that I watched that week to cheer me up. But they're coming up with a sequel on Valentine's Day next year. So V, I will make this promise to you right here on this podcast.
Okay.
That if Shy becomes a strategic mastermind and ends up at the end, I will buy you, a best friend, your partner, anyone you want, a ticket to go see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 in cinemas on Valentine's Day. That
You're
is
on.
the Mucky Hut promise.
You're on.
I
don't think you'll need to fulfill it.
I wish Tom was here.
But you're on.
If Tom was here, he'd be like this the whole time.
Oh, no, you're on. I super curious, but I don't think you'll ever need to follow through with that. So I think you'll be able to keep your money.
But is there anything else you want to talk about with these two episodes, Steve?
No, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I wasn't sure if I was maybe a bit survived out to enter another country. But I'm having fun so far. So I hope the other viewers are. I hope the UK is enjoying a breath of fresh air. It seems to be with the other reality shows that they have, something a bit different for them. So I've been seeing mixed reviews, especially over the editing. I haven't tripped up on it too much, except that there was some interesting editing of Joel in some of the challenges where I think they put two shots together that really shouldn't have been together, and it hurt my brain a little bit.
What shots were they?
Oh, they had in the editing that the small amount of editing I've worked on, you have Joel in one position and then the very next shot he's in a completely different position.
Oh, yeah.
It's very obvious there's a cut.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit of editing 101, and there was a little bit, it was a little bit overlooked by perhaps the director or an editor. So I can understand that there's a little bit of criticism there, but hey, I'm not a professional editor, so what can I say? But there was stuff like that I went, oh, I don't like that. But I'm having fun. So fingers crossed it gets even more exciting.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the series of Survivor. I've said it many times, but I'm not that big fan of American Survivor anymore.
Right, yep.
After season 41, I literally just dropped off. I still try to keep in touch with it every now and then, but I'm very casual. I mostly just listen to what Chris and Kahuna and Tom tells me, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the season, even though the strategy is quite basic. It may seem boring compared to some of the advanced strategy. But, in the Australian Survivor, we've gone from, 2016, which was all about mateship and integrity and honesty, to then 2017, which in my opinion is the best season of all time, where everyone was a massive hit. and everyone was somewhat of a strategic play, even Tarzan. So yeah, who knows? Maybe next Survivor UK season we'll have all the American game bots come over.
Oh God. Oh God. Please no.
Can you imagine Joel like narrating like, and now this is V strategizing with Mucky about potentially finding an idol.
We've gone back to the camp where V and Mucky have found an idol. You know, yeah. No, I cannot.
V and Mucky are discussing split votes. And for those who do not know what a split vote is, oh, that'd be so funny.
Got Joel walking along the beach going, we're in the Dominican Republic. Come join us as we watch Survivor tonight with our strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But
how
I like the way it's going so far.
How great would it be if David Attenborough was the host? Like with just like the narration and everything going on. I feel like we're really missing out.
Actually, you know what I am missing out on? In US Survivor, I love crabs, right?
Yeah.
I think they're adorable.
Yeah.
US Survivor, they've always got lots of shots of crabs on the beach running along. And I adore that. I'm probably the only person in the world that sits there and goes, yeah, look at that one. So we are missing out on a lot of nature videography in the UK. Yes. So they're in the Dominican Republic. I'm sure there's nature there. But apart from some nudity, we're not seeing the little crabs, the little birds, the little lizards that US Survivor loves to do. So, I mean, you know, something against it for me.
I'm not one to judge, but maybe there was some crabs with the nudity. You really just...
That's cheeky.
That was very cheeky.
There absolutely could be. You know what? With bathing in salt water every day, probably not by the end of it. There'll be crabs of a different kind. God, they did. Everyone is starting to look a bit flea bitten, which I find very interesting as well. I don't know if you've noticed. Everyone's looking
even
pretty
Lee,
bitten up.
Like he's got like a lot of bites like under his eyes. Like gosh.
Oh God, it's taking me back to old school, sort of like going, oh yeah, this is in the elements, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. I would get Tom to do his magnificent fireworks thing, but he's not here, unfortunately. He's got
because of Optus.
The Optus internet problem. So, but yeah, if you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and tell us what your thoughts are on the season so far. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What could be improved? What's amazing and perfect, right? So, yeah. Any last words, V?
I'd love to know the opinions of people living in the UK. I've heard that, compared to the reality shows, is Survivor really standing out for you? So if you're from the UK, let us know.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments. But until next time, have a good one, everyone. Bye.